in order to get traction, you need a combination of two critical conditions. One is a great product, which is a must. And two is people that are aware of your product. If you don't have those two, your project is going to fail. The more difficult one, by the way, is a great product. Building a great product is probably the biggest challenge you're going to have. And then you have a little bit of technicalities of how to make people aware of your great product. So I'll just do a side note, and I'll tell you something which is very, very technical. Currently measuring your traction and your activity levels is very, very easy in comparison to 10 years ago when you had the marketing division and they got fixed budget and nobody know how they're doing. They just got the money. Now you can easily measure your activity level and your success based on usually Google Analytics. What's going on in Google Analytics, what's the conversion rate, how many of the people who actually arrive to the site convert, and where are they coming from, and where are they converting from. So you can also judge if the traction channel is good based on what happens. If you get 1,000 people from this source and another 1,000 from the other source, you want to check how many of those 1,000 are converting into whatever you want them to convert. An email, leaving your email, buying something or whatever. So the idea is that it's very easy today to test. One more tool that we recommend to test is basically platforms like Unbounce or Lead Pages to create landing pages and do a few variations and then see which of those variation works. So the idea is that in general, you now can really measure your activity, and it makes sense to be a little bit smart on the measurement side of the story as well, because if not, you just take guesses, and you don't want to take guesses in this world, especially not as a startup with limited resources. So that's a good one to think about. And the following slide is an interesting slide for you. It's based on a book called Traction, which is recommended. The author of the book, I think, is the co-founder of DuckDuckGo, a search engine. The book is called Traction. So I recommend checking it out. Definitely a good book. And this slide is mainly based on this book. Over here, you have the big list of groups of traction. And the bad news or the sad news and also the fun news is that you have to test all of them, or at least aspire to test all of them, because surprisingly, there are lots of things that can work and you will never know if you don't test. So over here, you have the family of all the traction channels, and we're going to quickly go over them now. But let me just check if there are questions. I'm opening the chat, and we'll quickly go over one by one. And again, you have to test one by one. As a startup, I have to say, your time is pretty limited, so at least take a guess on 3 of those, and then every month try a new one, just to see what happens. You know, you never know. For us startups, the best channel of viral marketing is Product Hunt. ProductHunt.com, recommend launching there. This is currently the best source of virality, of getting massive traffic to your website. I will say that there are other virality tactics, and one of the most known one is, for example, Dropbox. What they did is that they said that basically every new person that you bring on board, you're going to receive more space on your Dropbox box for free. And that caused amazing amount of virality. So the idea in virality is being very, very creative. But if you don't feel like being creative like Dropbox and you don't have ideas of what will spread the news, basically Product Hunt is a really, really good source. Let's see if we can take one question. Okay, so Baptista is asking about the best strategy. Try them one by one or do all of them in the same time. I think that doing all of them in the same time is very, very difficult. So I would just go gradually according to your resources, and then you can really test them. But the idea is also to let go of them really, really fast. Let's say that one of your traction channels, you're trying now to do public speaking or webinar, like I'm doing, and it doesn't work, and you see people are not arriving or whatever, don't fight with it. Go to something that, the idea is find the easy thing over here. So I would probably go a few at the same time and not all of them in the same time, because you will just go crazy. Okay, let's see if we have other questions. Oh, we have a lot of questions. Okay. The viral hub, and also this is offered question. It's Product Hunt. I'm going to type it for you at the chat. Just a second. Product. Can someone type? Because I have a problem with the chat. Producthunt.com. That'll be amazing for all the people. Yeah. So Pascal just wrote producthunt.com, PH. For us, it did wonders. The minute we were featured there, then the snowball started rolling. So I definitely, today it's the biggest source out there for traction for startups, virality for startups. Let me see if I can get one more question. Bounty programs, yeah, we talked about this, and yeah, it's going to be also, we're going to speak a little bit about affiliates as well. Like basically, it's one of those lists. Okay. Okay, Don is asking, should we focus on traction from day one of launch? I'm going to speak about this later. So let's quickly go over this list so we can proceed to a few of the channels, case studies, and then the press. So you have viral marketing, you have public relations. And public relations, Mel, this is exactly what you asked, press. And I'm not speaking about agency, I'm speaking about doing it yourself. Then you have approach to popular blogs and podcasts, which is, by the way, press as well. Today's press is changing. It's not only the CNN and the Forbes, it's also the popular blogs and the podcasts out there. You need to approach them as well. They're an amazing channel to get traction. You have the paid channels like Google, Facebook, and others. That's the easiest one. Everyone who doesn't feel like doing those things or is too lazy to try out, usually the big companies, they're going to do Facebook and Google marketing. Needless to say, the price is going to be very high, so you kind of want to avoid it if possible. Then we have offline marketing, for example, giving out flyers and stuff like that. Email campaigns, which are critical. Basically, it's building your list and also sending cold emails. You have social media, you have crowdfunding, and social media, we all know Facebook, Twitter, and all those guys. Crowdfunding is basically setting up a campaign on Indiegogo, Kickstarter, or whatever. SEO, you know, and there is nothing more powerful than SEO. Why do I like SEO, by the way? Because it doesn't go away. Let's say if you get press and you're going to have a hype of really 1 or 2 good days, but then in the end of the story, it's gone after 2 days. Nobody will go to the CNN article that featured you. SEO is here to stay. So basically, it's a really good idea. Disconnect to the next one, content creation, basically written, audio, and video.